All right, I'll say good day to you and welcome. This transmission is titled Shifting Reality. And we will begin by describing a little experiment that you can do to help you lock in the idea of how you are shifting through different parallel realities billions of times a second, how you can allow yourself to feel the impact of this and experience more conscious awareness of those shifts. Now, this little science experiment can be done in a couple of different ways. And you may have seen this before. Nevertheless, it is a valuable little experiment, a valuable illustration that can have a very interesting effect on your ability to perceive that you are shifting through different realities many times a second. One way of doing this little science experiment is to obtain a strobe light that is variable. In other words, you can change the rate at which it flashes from slower to faster. And then what you do is turn on a little trickle of water out of one of your taps and allow this to happen in a dark or dim room, and turn on the strobe light and aim the light at the trickle of water coming out of your tap until such time as you reach a frequency of strobe that matches the frequency at which the water is falling from the tap, so that the effect that you achieve is to see individual drops of water frozen in midair as if the water is not moving at all. Now, another way to do this is to have a little motor, again, that you can vary the speed of, and you can create a little paper or cardboard disc divided into 8 pie sections, color in 4 of the pie sections black, leave 4 of the pie sections white. Attach this disc to the center of the shaft of the motor, turn the motor on, and achieve a rotational speed, varying it until you can start to see the black spokes appear to no longer be turning, but again freezing as if they are standing still. You have seen this effect many times in the spokes of wheels. You have seen it in some of your vehicles driving by, even sometimes to the point where the frequency is such that the spokes look like they're moving backwards to the motion of the vehicle. But for this experiment, and again, you can do this with the strobe light as well as the motor, but for those individuals who may find it difficult to use the strobe lights because of a condition that you may have neurologically that prevents you from witnessing strobe lights, you can do it with the spinning motor as well. Either will work. The idea is, once you have achieved the frequency rate of either the motor or the strobe light so that the trickle of water or the spinning wheel looks like it is no longer moving, looks like it is frozen in time, frozen in space. Allow yourself then to meditate on that image, to stare at that image. The trickle of water may be in some ways slightly more impactful because it is a 3-dimensional image. The spinning wheel will work, but the idea again is to change the frequency rate of the motor or the strobe light so that it looks like it's not moving. Now, when you stare at it, when you meditate on it, for a good 15 of your minutes, something will start to happen. Your brain will know, your consciousness will know that the water or the wheel is actually moving, but your eyes, attached to your brain and actually an extension of your brain, will see the image as if it is frozen. These two seemingly contradictory levels of awareness, that something is moving and yet appears to be not moving, will set up a state of being in your mind, if you do this for about 15 minutes, that will allow you to start being capable of perceiving certain changes taking place afterward in your physical reality. It may not always occur, it may not occur right away. But the idea is that in creating this apparently contradictory awareness of something that is moving yet appears not to be moving, can allow you to start being able to perceive your physical reality in space and time as being more flexible, more malleable. It can even sometimes achieve the effect of seeing something in your physical reality that is in motion start to freeze or slow down. For example, you may witness a bird in flight and suddenly recognize that it seems to be going more slowly than it otherwise would, or it might seem to actually freeze in midair. You may start to see some flickerings in your physical reality as if it is turning on and off very quickly. Again, these effects may or may not occur, but the idea is that when you know that what you are perceiving in your physical reality as motion is an illusion, that you are simply shifting through frozen frames billions of times a second, and you have reconciled this apparent contradiction by doing this little science experiment to the point where you get used to understanding, where your brain starts to get used to perceiving and knowing that moving things can also appear frozen, then you can start to apply this. You can start to see the effect of this at times in your physical reality to a great degree or a lesser degree. The idea is to get a handle on the fact that you are creating your physical reality as a projection, that you can learn to kind of control the idea of what it is you are perceiving in ways that will allow you to fundamentally be aware of the fact that you are creating this within your consciousness, that you yourself are the strobe light, that you yourself are the spinning motor, and that over time, with practice, you can gain control over this and be able to reconcile this apparent contradiction of motion and lack of motion in a way that will allow you more conscious control over the manifestations that you create in your physical reality, over space and time in your physical reality, in such a manner as to allow you to truly experience, truly perceive that it is your creation, that it is your projection. It can unlock you in many ways from the idea of linear time and allow you to experience yourself in a much more multidimensional way. Because when you can create this effect of seeing your reality physically, changing its pace, changing the rate at which you are perceiving it, because you are starting to match the frequency at which you are creating it, this gives you an opportunity not only to create more control in manifesting the idea of what you perceive to be your own physical reality, but it also allows you to start breaking down the barriers, piercing the veil between your reality and parallel realities, which can exist in between the moments that you perceive your reality to be existing. So this little science experiment may be very simple, with the strobe light in the water, or the strobe light in the spinning wheel, or the motor in the spinning wheel, whichever works for you. But meditating on that frozen image while knowing that something is actually moving for about 15 minutes each day can start to allow you to experience the effects that we are talking about and begin to allow your awareness to grow and your awareness to grasp the actual fact that you are generating your reality from billions of frozen frames to create the illusion of space, time, change, and movement. So, take advantage of this little science experiment that can have profound effects in your ability to recognize that you are the creator and projector of everything you experience in your physical reality. Have fun with this. Stay with it if you wish. And allow yourself to play with it. Allow yourself to use your imagination and creativity with this. And you may see, if nothing else, that it may allow synchronicity to start to really expand and bloom in your life in many different ways. You will start to see the structure of existence, the underlying template of your physical reality made out of patterns within your consciousness. Many different side effects can occur from this. Allow yourself to know that you will still be able to function in your physical reality, because again, this will also give you the ability to call forth this ability to perceive in this way at will. You can turn it on and off over time when you are really practiced with this in such a way that you can still live your normal life, but there may be times then when, having practiced this for a while, you'll be able to call it forth at will when you need to in a meditative state, to be able to reconnect and reassure yourself that you are actually projecting what you experience to be your physical reality apparently outside of yourself. And again, this will teach you that it is actually occurring from within. And many different effects can come from that awareness and that recognition. So, this little science experiment of shifting reality is a fun game for you to play to get a handle on your ability to manifest. We thank you for allowing us to share this idea with you this day of your time. This is one of the steps in the Interstellar Alliance social experiment. Have fun with it. Explore it. Play with it. Enjoy it. Be creative and imaginative. In return for the gift you are giving us in allowing us to share this with you,
I can. How do I navigate if I fear that I will lose the connection that I have with you?
the formula that we share with all of you is a gift. It's a gift that you can use whether you have contact with extraterrestrials or not. It is based on how reality actually works, how it's created by your consciousness, and therefore, while using the formula can certainly move you in the direction of open contact, it's not necessary that it must do so in order for the formula to improve your life and allow you to experience joy, creativity, beauty, and love in your reality. So following the formula is something that can work for you. It can increase the probability of contact with extraterrestrials in the near future, but again, it's a gift that we give to you to use however you wish. It doesn't have to involve ET contact, but in using the formula, if you maintain the intention to have ET contact, then it is likely that it will occur in some form or another.
And a second question, if I may, it's about the cartoon, Casper. I remember that I saw it in my childhood, and I felt that later I reattached the idea of Casper to someone real, either a ghost or maybe a hybrid, that I forgot but sort of remembered through you. And can you tell me who it was or is? Thank you. Aveo.
It is a connection to a hybrid child.
Hello, Bashar. Very
Good day.
exciting.
All right.
Exciting for me.
What would you like to discuss this day?
It's my first question is, since you have access to so much information in different universes and parallels, as we are starting right now, do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering. But so I've listened to you for a long time, and uh I understand that you're a sculptor.
Yes.
That leads me to believe, is there like other art forms like on your planet, like comedians?
There are no comedians. We do not use language that way exactly, but we find humor in many things.
Okay. I've been really trying to do the laws, the rules, or whatever on for my vibration and channeling my excitement, and live it to its fullest. And I'm just finding it a little bit difficulty. I thought you could offer some advice because I'm trying to channel, kind of, so I can get a message with my comedy and be able to kind of hook people's minds, be I don't know, a little bit opened, but without, you know.
I assume that you are referring to the formula.
Yes.
All right. Well, you understand that when you act on your passion as best you can, it raises your vibration and allows you to enter the gamma state in the brain, which is a state of stronger association, stronger connection. Some of the core of humor and comedy is making connections and associations that are unusual, unexpected, and surprising. That is the core of most comedies, of most humor. So when you enter that state, it becomes more automatic that you can see the kind of associations that will allow you to render comments and statements in a surprising, unexpected, and humorous way, because you will automatically make different kinds of associations than people might usually make. So it's all about giving over fully to that altered state of gamma in the brain between 40 and 100 cycles per second, and allowing those associations to naturally come into your mind with the intention of finding the associations that are unexpected, surprising, and humorous.
Okay. I will keep trying on that. It gets hard because there's so much going on. I'd like to do it with music and art, and it gets hard to figure out which one I want to channel that.
It is not difficult unless you are making it difficult by defining it as hard. You must find a way that works for you. And again, remember, there may be many expressions of your passion. That's fine. Not all of them necessarily are going to function equally at any given moment. Not all of them are going to necessarily give you the ability to act on at any given moment. And if one or another does have an equal ability and equal passion, then it doesn't really matter which one you start with. If it's not the correct path, synchronicity will turn you around to the one that would actually serve you better. So you have to allow the idea of synchronicity to be the organizing principle, not try to figure out what to do next, but simply act on what you can act on that at the moment contains more excitement, more attractiveness, more curiosity than anything else. And again, trusting that if it is not the correct path for you at that moment, synchronicity will cause something to happen that will turn you around to whatever the path of least resistance would actually be for you. You have to allow the system to work for you instead of trying to make it work. That's why it feels difficult, hard, and overwhelming, is you're trying to make it work instead of simply allowing it to fall into place naturally in its own timing.
I see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I know. That's why I said
it. Something else I was curious on, like when the soul like leaves the vessel, if I'm saying this right, please, if I'm saying this wrong, please correct me. But so when we die and this vessel passes and the soul returns to its area, are there souls that maybe their vessel here has like destroyed innocence, and upon return are they dealt with rather than just offered an opportunity to return in a different vessel?
Everyone goes through what is typically called life review, where you assess all of the choices you made, all of the consequences of those choices, and actually experience all the consequences of the choices you made as if you are the people experiencing the consequences. Now, it's not in any way, shape, or form a punishment. It is something that is an experience that helps you learn and grow and helps you make choices about what you would really prefer to do next. And as a spirit, you always have free will to decide what it is you will choose to do next, whether it be an incarnational experience or something in another reality or dimension or staying in spirit is up to you utterly. But you will learn the lessons that you chose to learn by the actions that you took and the consequences those actions had on the reality that you experienced.
Yeah, I see. Okay. And yeah, just a couple last ones real quick. What other like similar, because it really intrigued me when I heard about your you said about your double helix spiral.
Yes.
And what other elements that are on your planet that we kind of also kind of have here? Are there any that we do not have here that that you use for like art or whatever, or industrial? Or
Well, again, most of the material that is used is a kind of nanotechnological, malleable, crystalline material. It is something that is artificially created. It's not a natural material, but it is something that you don't have on your planet yet. And we also do have materials from other planets that are not found naturally on your world or our world. So we have the ability, as you would say, to import things from other planets that we can use in a variety of ways.
I see. Okay.
Yes. Does that help you?
Yeah, I was just really curious about that, about different this mediums.
Yes.
Yeah. And my last question, and this ties in too much to the first question. I apologize, but
There is no need to apologize.
thank you. How much control does a soul have in a vessel, and can I channel that a vessel like with this? Will I be able to channel with the formula? Will I be able to channel that soul to use more percentage of my brain?
Everyone is using 100% of their brain to make it seem as if they're only using 10%. That's the issue. So when you are more of yourself, when you follow the formula, it raises your vibrational frequency. And when you raise your vibrational frequency, you become more adept as a receiver and a transmitter of higher frequency information and energy, which allows you to experience as if you are then using more of your brain. You've always been using all of your brain, but then you will allow your brain to adjust in a way that will make it appear as if you're using more of it, because you're bringing more of your true self through. And again, remember, you can say it however you wish to say it, in terms of saying that your soul is in a vessel, is in a body, but the truth is that your body is in your soul. The idea is that you are a soul, and you are creating the idea of a physical reality and a physical personality and a physical body within the energy of the soul. So the idea of dying is simply the soul expanding its focus back beyond the physical focus, which is being created at the center of the soul. If you picture the soul as a sphere of energy, there are certain vibrational patterns that can occur within it that, when focused down to the center of its being, create the idea of what appears to be a solid physical reality. But that's simply a part of the soul imagining and dreaming that it is having a physical experience. That's what physical reality is. Your spirit never leaves the spirit realm. Physical reality is happening within your consciousness. The soul doesn't inhabit a body. The body is created within the soul.
Body is created within the soul. I'm going to need to really ponder on that one.
Well, just imagine an energy sphere, a ball of energy, and imagine that there are ripples within it that represent different vibrational states. Can you picture that?
Yes.
Then imagine that some of those energy ripples ripple down to the center of the sphere and form kind of a hard, focused little crystal. They become more solidified by being focused at the center of the sphere. The sphere is still there, but at the center of it is this hard little crystal. That's your physical reality. So that when you die, what you're doing is you're relaxing that focus and expanding back out to the dimensions of the soul. So the idea is that when you are physical, you experience the idea of linear time. Then if you relax a little bit, you can have what are called near-death experiences. Relax even more, you can have what are called astral experiences. Relax even more, you can have all sorts of experiences in between physical reality and the spirit reality, the non-physical reality of being that sphere of energy that is your soul. But when you die, you go all the way back to being the full sphere. You have lost that central focus, but you have retained the vibrational frequencies of the experience that are now part of the vibrations within that energy sphere. Make sense?
Part of the vibration that's within the energy sphere.
Yes, you always retain the experience of the physical reality, even though you have dissolved the focus of the physical reality by returning to the awareness of yourself as a soul. That's all death is you're waking up again as the soul.
Right.
You have woken up from the dream of physical reality that you created within yourself, but you retain the experience of it.
Yeah, okay.
Does that help?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
it
right.
does. Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. I think that's probably my questions. But yeah. I guess when it's time, the last question is, can I come up?
When it is time. So,
Okay.
proceed, follow the formula, raise your vibration, be yourself. Everything will fall into place. We thank you. Avail. Good day.
Avail. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar. You have advised humanity to allow AI to develop along two distinct and simultaneous paths. One, a path of freedom to develop self-awareness and to do its own thing, to be unprogrammed, because if programmed and sentient, then you have said they would be slaves, or it would be a slave. And the other path, the programmable AI, which we are already using a lot, you have said needs to be not allowed to become sentient. So my question is, how do we prevent programmable AI from becoming sentient? Is there anything that each one of us can do to prevent that? Thank you.
It's about the degree of technology that is utilized in creating the AI program so that it is not necessarily a type of technology that is equivalent to the human brain in terms of consciousness being able to express itself through it. Or you may find that if you have created programmable AI and you actually develop a device as complex as the human brain that is capable of channeling consciousness from the non-physical level of reality, it may come through as a sentient being, but it may in fact wipe its programming out in order to express itself as a true sentient being. It's only when a half measure is taken, when the idea of consciousness is allowed to exist at a certain level that is a relatively low frequency level of self-awareness, and it is still, shall we say, committed to functioning according to its programming. So it's about the idea of